Hi, so today I'm going to make some Elderflower Cordial, which is a great excuse to talk about how good elderflowers are for you. The reason I'm making this is because I'm really stuffy at the moment, and the reason for that was that I've been doing some gloss painting and now I've got a sore throat and I keep sneezing, I'm full of catarrh, and the elderflower is a great remedy for sinus problems. Now I suffer a little bit from hay fever, but I know that this is sort of an allergic reaction to toxic paint, so I thought it would be a really good idea to make some Elderflower Cordial and to talk about some of the properties of elderflower. So elder is another one of the fairy trees, and I think the other one is hawthorn, although I think they're all fairy trees. Apples are fairy trees. But yeah, she's a very respected tree, someone you're not supposed to take from, not supposed to cut, and not supposed to burn. She's actually the crone tree, and she grows on waysides and bits of scrapland. And she's kind of related to Holder, who is the guardian of the woodland. It's very respectful to approach elder first when you enter any kind of forest or wood. Now, at the moment, she's bright with these white flowers. You can see that, if you don't recognise it, which I'm hoping you do, of course, this is a tree, with the spear-shaped leaves. Can't see a thing. And it's definitely not this flower, which is cow parsley. But yeah, the elder's a funny tree. She is pithy and soft on the inside and quite sort of firm and brittle on the outside. So the elder is a protective tree, and it's often grown on boundaries. So it's supposed to protect your home. If it's grown sort of on your gate, it protects graveyards. It's quite a lucky tree to have around, although some people consider it bad luck. So it has two sides of her nature, and her association with protection is part of the side of the Crone goddess. So I see elder as the crone tree. She flowers directly after the hawthorn, and so she comes into flower quite early in the season, and of course she then leaves red berries later on, so leave some berries for the birds, which are also very medicinal. And it's all to do with your immune system and with self-protection. Now I see the elder as a bit of a formidable tree. She's a crone, and as a crone, I think she encourages you to... as a crone, she encourages you to have healthy boundaries. And as they say, to do no harm but to take no shit. So she can help you in many aspects of this. She's also associated with calling the fairies, and to meet the fairies. In fact, if you're supposed to sleep under an elder tree, you will dream and enter fairyland. Of course, the thing you don't want to confuse elderflower with is this, which is cow parsley, or mother's dye, as we used to call it. I think we called it mother's dye because it looks very much like hemlock. So if you get it wrong, you could die. So make sure, of course, that you're picking from a bush and not from the side of a verge where cow parsley grows, which is quite abundant this time of year. Wow, look at those roses. Beautiful. Look at that. Planted that beautiful rose bush there. Yellow roses. So what I want to do is gather about 20 or so large elderflower heads, and I'm going to take them back and make some elderflower cordial with them. Making elderflower syrup this time of year is great if you suffer from hay fever and allergies. It just helps to tone down all that irritation, and that's the thing with hay fever and with sneezing, and when you have reactions to something, quite often there's a psychosomatic underlying issue, I suspect. So you might want to ask yourself, what is it that is irritating me at the moment? What is it that I can't confront or that I can't address? What is it that I literally have to sneeze out, to spit out of my system, to shoo away? And so, I think elderflower helps with these issues as well, being a stern but loving tree. She helps with issues of boundaries, issues of protection, and coming back to your own power, and not being afraid to say no. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting them with scissors, because I want to keep the pollen on the flower as much as possible, because it's the pollen that gives it flavour. Also, the stalks and the leaves and the bark of elderflower are poisonous, so all you really want are the flowers.
Walk with me, let's leave the past behind. Walk with me, there's something else we need to find. Say
nature makes us look at things in a holistic way and ask, is there something bigger going on? Is there something in my life that needs attention? Because nature's connected, reminding us that everything's connected.
let's make miracles, come hold my hand. Let's find something new, me and you. Blue is the sky, like the color of your eyes. Blue is your heart, it's been like that from the start. Say you'll stay till the morning light, I'll help you through the fight. Let's make footprints in the sand, let's make miracles, come hold my hand. Let's find something new, me and you.
So really this recipe is for a bit of a syrup, to be honest, because you've got to put a lot of white sugar in with just a little bit, 1.5 litres of water. Now, I've heard you can use coconut sugar. I've not got coconut sugar. I have this granulated, easy to dissolve sugar, and I'm going to use 2 kilos for 1.5 litres of water. But remember that you are going to dilute this at the end of the day. But obviously, if you're a bit wary of the high glycemic content, is it? Glycemic index, you may want to use coconut sugar, which is easier to digest. You can also buy fructose, of course. So what you want to do is, one of these bags is 1 kilo. So that is pretty much a pan full of sugar. And I'm going to use 2 kilos and then add 1.5 litres of water, or 2 pints and 3/4 of a pint of water to it. And then let that dissolve over a low heat. So just bringing it up to nearly boiling point to warm it a little until all the sugar has turned into a syrup. My gosh, to be honest, I think I'm going to call it just 1 kilo and 3/4 of a kilo, because that is my pan full. I'm adding 1.5 litres of water to this. My pan is full. So that's good enough for me. That is a smaller amount. Obviously I can't get any more in that pan. You may have to make this a recipe according to the size of pan you have. So I've got two pints of water to a kilo and 3/4 of sugar. And if that sugar dissolves a bit, I might see if I can add a little bit more water. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dissolve it and add it to this large bowl here with a little bit more water. Hooray! That will do it. And while that's dissolving slowly, I hope, I am going to cut the heads off the elderflowers. So while that's dissolving, I'm going to cut the flowers off the stalks, which is the quickest and easiest way of separating the flowers from the stems. And I've been carrying them around in a basket so that all the little creepy crawlies went, oh my god, what's happening? And they ran away. Hopefully they've had a good chance to escape by now. You may want to just check while you're doing this that nothing is living on there. So the recipe also calls for the zest and juice of 2 lemons. And what you do is, once you have dissolved all the sugar in the water, you add the juice, the zest and the elderflowers, and you let it steep for about 24 to 48 hours. Just to make a very simple but very beneficial Elderflower Cordial recipe. Can you hear that? I'm very stuffy. It's because I spent all day Saturday gloss painting everywhere upstairs. I gloss painted everything, my skirting boards, my doors, and then I slept upstairs with all the windows shut, and I've been ill for 4 days. It's very toxic paint. It always does this to me, does gloss paint. But I have managed to usually limit the amount of gloss I breathe in by not painting quite as extensively in one go. I'll paint a door or paint a windowsill or something, but it's really not good to just breathe that in for days. Hopefully a combination of whammies will help my sinuses to calm down a bit, and will do my immune system a bit of good, and just relax. It's very good for cold symptoms, is elder. If you want to freeze it and take it in the winter, it's very good for a sinus cold. But now I think, if I've got allergies, if I've got something getting up my nose, as it were, then I have some issue to address somewhere. Something's trying to get my attention. That's the way I look at it. I think it doesn't do any harm to question that. I can smell syrup. I'll just see how my sugar is doing. Bit of a stir. Oh, yeah, that's heating up. It's going to smell like toffee around here. I can pick that up and pour it now. Perfect. So I'm just going to put a little bit more water to make that amount of sugar slightly less desperate. So, very quickly, finish this job. There's quite a lot of elderflower in there. And it's the pollen that actually gives it the flavour, so really try and shake the pollen off as little as possible and go and collect it when it's nice and dry, and perhaps sort of mid-morning, heading towards lunchtime, when it's nicely dried and the pollen is all warmed up. It's warmed by the sun. And yeah, it's lovely. I've got a few bits of stock on, but mostly I've left anything poisonous out of this recipe. Things like leaves, too much stalk, bark, that'd be fine. So now I'm going to add the zest of a lemon, 2 lemons that I've just washed. Zest on the rind. Sometimes you could just chop these. Add all this to the warm syrupy solution. The lemon rind, the lemon juice, and then all the elderflower heads. Just give that a little bit of a stir into the solution there. So, and now what I want to do is cover it over with a clean tea towel and let it sit for about 24 hours. Oh, I forgot to say, we've got to add a little bit of citric acid to it, and that acts as a preservative, I think, and you can get this in most chemist shops. I got this in Tesco from the pharmacy, and I just add about a teaspoon of that into the liquid. I'm just going to add a teaspoon. A little bit about how the elder is very strong and powerful than a crone tree, but the fact is that she acts to soothe a situation. She's very cooling. Ultimately, she takes that sting away, so she's got a lot of uses as skin remedies and skin tonics, and also as insect repellents. So you can boil the leaves in water and you can use it on your skin as an insect repellent, and some people also spray it on their plants to get rid of little bugs and mites and things. And you can wash your face in an elderflower infusion, and it's slightly astringent. It's supposed to whiten the skin and help acne and things like that. So generally, it's very soothing, soothes the nerves, soothes the nostrils, and just takes the fire out of a situation. So now that this is done, I'm going to have a look. That's looking good. I'm going to try and put this into bottles and then keep it in my fridge. I think it will keep up to 6 weeks. Sorry. Keeping it cool, it will keep for 6 weeks. And of course, you can freeze it. You can add it to little ice cubes and add it to your cocktail drinks. You can pour a little bit into your cocktails. I think I'm going to try a little bit with a gin and tonic later. And it makes a lovely summery drink. So let's see how well I can do this. I'm going to have to do this in stages because this is my largest bowl. Can I reach the bottom? No, it's slowly going through, so I'll give that a minute. It's so warm. Oh, quite treacly. Oh, it's just syrup. It's lovely. I might need a larger funnel. Okay, so I'm thinking funnels are very useful things. Let's see if this was right in the end. Very carefully pouring this all over the table. Wow, looks delicious. Labelled with love, of course. Only the finest. Divine. That is beautiful. There's a real lemony light zest to that. And 2 kilos is enough for sugar. So I'm just going to sterilise a 3rd bottle because I've still got at least a litre left, if not a little bit more. So what I think I did was, in the end, I put 3 litres of water in to 2 kilos of sugar. Now the recipe I read said 1.5 litres to 2.5 kilos. To me that is incredibly sickly. This is actually beautiful, so I recommend 3 litres of water to 2 kilos of sugar. And it's beautiful. It really brings out the lemon flavour, just a small bit of lemon in there. So that is delicious. Very happy with that.